Quakers from Pennsylvania in lane 2. Dartmouth will be in lane 3. And Tennessee will be on the outside in lane 4, closest to the media launch.
And Ian, what's the weather looking like right now?
Oh, I think we got it. We got a great day out here. You know, it's good, sunny, 60 degrees, very flat water, not much wind. If anything, about a 1 or 2 knot wind out of the north, giving us a nice headwind here. But realistically, we're looking at pretty flat conditions, fair racing conditions all the way across the course. Another beautiful day out here on Carnegie Lake.
You know, it's funny. I'm looking out at these trees right now. I swear they're getting greener by the second.
Spring is in the air, folks. Spring is in the air. Nice little push to give these crews a nice jump here in the first stages of the race.
You know, that always used to be my favorite condition to race in was a tailwind. Good fast times.
And the crews are aligned. Princeton, Penn, Dartmouth, Tennessee. Attention, go. And all crews are off to a good start. Real aggressive here in the early stages, trying to get that lead. Real important, especially in a 4. Nice. It's a slower moving boat. You want to get yourselves in a good position early on. And at this point in the race, I would say we have Penn out to an early lead, followed by Dartmouth and Princeton, with Tennessee bringing up the rear.
Yeah, but again, real tight racing among all 4s. Maybe a deck in at the most right now for Penn. They really fought hard to get out to that start.
And down at base speed, it looks as though the Princeton Tigers and the Penn Quakers are looking to leave the rest of the field behind as they're starting to get some more traction. Dartmouth is moved into 3rd place and Tennessee is fallen back into 4th. Princeton trying to challenge Penn and bring it back level. Right now, I'd say they're about down half a length.
Yeah, and when you look at this Penn rowing style, they are really aggressive on that swing. They are swinging into each of these strokes, being really aggressive at the start here. You got to wonder if it's going to hold on for the entire race. And as I say that, Princeton is starting to inch up on Penn. Princeton is inching up on Penn, maybe taking about half an inch a stroke here. But Penn is still fighting.
Yeah, at this point in the race, Penn and Princeton are looking to move away from Dartmouth and Tennessee here. And it looks as though Princeton might be on the move, starting to take some inches back as we come through the 500-meter mark. And they've closed the gap to about half a length.
Yeah, definitely some movement out of that Princeton 4 on the outside. But you know, Ian, what I'm noticing here is Dartmouth is not going anywhere. They are staying right on that stern deck of Princeton, and they're looking to push this race a little bit. They're trying to up the tempo.
And it looks as though Princeton is drawing level now. As we come through the 750-meter mark, as we approach it, it looks as though Princeton is making a big push, and they've taken the lead. Princeton is now taking the lead. They're out to a 1 to 2 seat lead with a real strong push coming through the 600-meter mark.
Oh, yeah, and it is a big push. You can see it. They're
Once again, Tigers on the march. Tigers marching. They've now moved to about stroke seat on Coxon of Penn now. And just as I say that, Dartmouth is starting to pull back into Penn as well. Good solid racing here. This is a nice exciting race. Lots of movement between the crews. And it looks as though the 3 seat of Princeton is now on the bow ball of Penn. And she's trying to pass it down to stroke seat here. They continue to move as we approach the 1,000-meter mark.
I'll tell you what, Ian, that was a really impressive 750 move there. They moved probably about a full length over about 100 meters.
Let's just see if they can maintain their speed as we come through the 1,000, not have any sort of sag on the back end of that move, and continue to keep the margin in their favor.
Yeah, it's always important after a move like that to try and maintain speed. As we say that now, Penn is starting to move back in a little bit. Princeton definitely took off a lot in that middle, that 250. So hopefully they can keep some of it from Penn.
And as we come through the 1,000, you can expect all the crews to try and take another push as we enter the second half of this race. The third 500 being the most important 500. Maintaining speed through here usually helps crews win a race.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here, Ian. The speed really needs to start to pick up as you're getting closer and closer to the finish line.
At this point, it looks Princeton is maintaining that half a length lead over Penn. Dartmouth still scrapping, trying to get back into Penn. I would say their bow ball is between the stroke seat and the 3 seat. And the Volunteers on the outside are just about a little bit of separation behind Dartmouth here. Princeton and Penn in a tight battle up front. Penn now making a move as we come into the 750 to go, trying to draw level and battle in their way back up to challenge Princeton in the last 500 here.
Yeah, and even as you say that, Ian, you know, Dartmouth's not going away either. They're holding speed as well. They're maintaining with Penn. They're holding on to that contact. Princeton, as we say this, is making a push on the outside. It looks like Princeton is starting to move.
Oh, definitely. I think they've maybe taken a seat now again. They're taking a seat back from Penn, pushing the bow ball back to the stroke seat, 3 seat of their boat, trying to pass it down, trying to get that separation from Penn. As we approach the 500 meters to go mark, it looks as though Penn and Princeton are starting to leave the field behind as they get caught in a battle trying to win this race. Dartmouth is falling back, and Tennessee appears to be moving back up on Dartmouth.
Yeah, the race for third place here is really starting to develop. Tennessee's doing a good job of maintaining on Dartmouth. They're right there. They're right on the edge of that deck. And with a Cox 4, it's a lot easier to get a length in a Cox 4 than it is in an 8 with 500 to go. We could see some pretty good racing to end this piece.
And as we come into the 500-meter mark, it looks as though Princeton is going to take another shot here, try and solidify their margin over Penn. And those 2 lead crews now, looks like their pace is a little bit too hot for the rest of the crews here, as the Big Green from Dartmouth and Tennessee are falling a bit behind as these 2 crews battle it on down the course. Coming through 400 to go now, it looks as though that Princeton is maintaining that 3-seat lead that they fought so hard for in that second 500. And it looks as though they're raising their rate and their game just a touch as we approach 250 meters to go. Going to look for a response from Penn here.
Well, you really can't expect anything less, can you? Penn's been doing it the whole way down the course. It's really solid showing by both these crews and great racing. We're coming into the last 250 now, and it looks like Princeton has just about a half a length advantage, but Penn is moving. Penn has brought the rate up. They're starting to go, and Princeton is responding.
Real tight race here.
It's going to come all the way down to the line,
Both crews
Ian.
going stroke for stroke. It looks like Penn might have the better speed at this point. As we come into the last 150 meters, 200 meters, Princeton maintains that 2 to 3 seat lead.
Penn may have the better speed, but Princeton had that lead at the start.
And now Princeton has matched their speed, and if anything, they might be moving away from Penn as we come into the last 50 meters. Last 100 meters of this race. Looks as though Princeton is going to hang on to win this one over Penn. And back to Dartmouth, about 2 lengths and a touch open back to Tennessee. And Princeton wins this one, followed by Penn, followed by Dartmouth, and followed by Tennessee.
You know, Ian, with a race like this, it really goes to show how important and effective a move can be when you're in these pieces.
Most definitely. Princeton really put in a nice shot right before the 750-meter mark, got their lead, and they just never looked back. Continue to march on all the way through to the